as America is now colonized. The colonists come over here, they're setting up camp, they bring with them this idea of English common law in terms of the governmental structure that they're going to establish over here on American soil. And look at this, look at the time frame here. 1634, we have the first American sheriff. Captain William Stone is appointed as a sheriff in Northamptonshire, Virginia. And look what happens just a few years later. We have William Waters elected as our first elected sheriff in the same shire. This is what, 120-something years prior to the Declaration of Independence. And already Americans are saying, we're going to elect our government officials. They're going to represent us. We're going to hold them accountable to us. And they were already establishing this principle while we were still under British rule, long before the Declaration came along. I think that's really interesting and exciting. There's over 3,000 sheriffs in America today. Most of them are elected. Most of them are answerable and accountable right back to the people, the voters, and that is as it should be. There are some states that have tried to do away with the office of sheriff. Connecticut was one. We have seen some individual counties that have tried to either do away with the office or greatly limit their power. We have that in South Carolina. Horry County, Myrtle Beach area, is the only county in South Carolina that has a county police force. We think about a city police force. Horry has a county police force. They still have a sheriff. You can't do away with the sheriff, at least not yet in South Carolina, because it's a constitutionally established office. But what they've done is they've limited the authority of the sheriff to a great degree. The sheriff there primarily runs the jail and serves process out of the court. They're not the primary law enforcement official, which makes no sense to me whatsoever, because it seems to me that the one with the most power ought to be the one that's most accountable back to the people. And I would tell you this, there's a movement afoot to do away with the office of sheriff being elected. And I would tell you, as grassroots conservatives, you should never, ever, ever allow that to happen, if you have any influence over it whatsoever. Are there corrupt sheriffs? Yeah, we've had some bad actors. We've seen some really bad examples in South Carolina over the last 5 years. Out of, I hate to even admit this, out of 46 sheriffs, we've had 15 indicted. And there may be more to come. That's shameful, but keep in mind that they need to be accountable back to the people. If they're not accountable back to you, you really don't have much say-so at all over what they do or don't do. And a sheriff can make a constitutional stand. We'll talk about that here in just a minute, by virtue of that. So now we got the westward expansion, right? People are moving out west to settle it, and they're taking along the idea of this sheriff with them. And we have some very colorful characters from back there in that era. You might not have known that people like Wild Bill and Masterson, along with Pat Garrett, were sheriffs in the Old West days. And I came across this quote from a book called The American Sheriff that says that not only did sheriffs administer conventional punishment like we might think of today, but they did things such as flogging, banishment, and execution by choking. Can you imagine you're the sheriff and you got to go choking the guy to death to carry out the order of the court? That'd be really crazy. But that's the kind of stuff that happened.